Hi guys, welcome to a trick that involves a spectator and yourself playing a kind of do as I do type trick. We use red and blue just to distinguish one from the other, and we'll just remove these. You can get the spectator to choose which cards they want to use, red or blue. It doesn't really make much difference, but you'll have two decks and you can give a pack to them and a pack to them, and of course I can just show the cards just to be all regular in the blue and the red. Now you'll notice they're not brand new decks because they're not in new deck order, so they are shuffled and mixed, but you can mix them if you want. So I'm going to give the spectator a pack and I'm going to have a pack for myself, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and create a coincidence. And we're going to do that by synchronizing our minds together. And we look at each other, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut a small portion of cards and flip them over and see if we can synchronize the cards. So we both grab the cards. I grab the pack, they grab their pack, and we're both, on the count of three, going to turn over a portion of cards. So you cut a small portion of cards and turn it over like that. The spectator will do the same at the same time, turn it over to see if we get a match. We look at that and say, not exactly a perfect match. Maybe we need to cut a bit deeper. So you then say, let's repeat this by cutting a bit deeper in the pack, maybe a third. On the count of three, you both cut. I cut mine, he cuts his as well. Remember, we'll be doing this at the same time. Again, it's a little bit disappointing because you say, well, maybe our minds are not in harmony. We just can't seem to synchronize together. Maybe it's not the faces, maybe it's the number of cards we cut. Let's count how many cards we've got, and I'll count my cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards I've got. What have you got? And the spectator will count his. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, it wasn't the number of cards. I'll tell you what. Have a peek at the card that we cut to. Now we both cut at different depths. You cut 9 cards and I cut 7, but have a peek. Now I'm going to have a look at my card that I've cut to. The spectator will have a peek at their card. Okay, I'll show the camera. Let's lose these in the pack. Let's put these on top. You put these on top and ask them to cut the cards and complete the cut. And I'll do the same with mine. Now I think you'll agree that we've both arrived at a card at random. You've picked one, I've picked one, we've both got it in our minds. This is what you both do. You say, we're going to enter the 4th dimension. I'm going to reach in and pull out my card invisibly, turn it face up and put it on top of the pack. Now if you could do the same as well. So we'll both mimic pulling out a card, turning it face up and put it on top. And when that happens, you say, wow, well, there's the coincidence I was looking for. I picked the King of Spades, and by the looks of it, you got the King of Spades as well. Now at this point, they're amazed. Both of us picked the same card. Is that a coincidence? But let's go one stage further. While we're still in the 4th dimension, I'm going to take my King of Spades and I'm going to push it into your pack. Can you take your King of Spades and push it into my pack? This really gets them involved in the trick. You then say, let's come back to reality. Spread the cards, and there is the King of Spades face up. Spread these, and there is the King of Spades face up in my deck. And just to prove that we really did enter the 4th dimension, his card really is in my pack and my card really is in his pack. And that is a great coincidence in a fourth dimension. Now, the card trick you've just seen performed is great when you're dealing with a spectator and you want to get them involved and do this kind of follow what I do to see if we get a coincidence happen. Two cards arrived at the same time. And what we're going to do is stack the deck. So you do need a red deck and a blue deck. By the way, at the start of the performance, like any magician would say, is you can pick any pack. Of course they can't. They were always going to have the red deck, and I'll show you why. The blue deck, there's nothing odd about that at all. This is my deck and this is going to be their deck. Now what you need to do before the trick starts, there is a very small setup. The first setup is with this one. We've got the King of Spades, which is the card I'm going to force, so I use the King of Spades from the blue deck. From the red deck I take the King of Spades as well. What we're going to do is to swap these two cards over so that the red backed king goes into the blue back deck and the blue goes into the red back deck. So you're just swapping those over. And where we place these is reversed just a few cards from the bottom of the pack. So I've reversed that a few cards from the bottom. You do the same with this one. We put the blue backed king reversed near the bottom. It doesn't have to be exact, it'll be 3, 4, 5 cards down on there. So just put those on there. Finally, because you're going to give them the red deck, you need to have a duplicate king. So I've got another king matching the red deck over here, and that goes on top because you are going to force that using what's known as a cut deeper force. You remove the cards from the deck, you're all set to go. You can do shuffles, full shuffles, as long as you don't expose the reverse card down there and down there. You're going to make sure that they get the red deck and you're going to have the blue deck. They're just going to follow you. You say, grab the cards and hold them in your hand. So you're both holding the pack in your hand. That way you've got no way of exposing the reverse card near the bottom. You then both take a small packet, not too many, just say to them, take a small packet of cards, and when we turn them up together, we should be synchronized. You do that, turn it over, and they do the same. Now, if these match, you've got an absolute miracle. You can say, that is amazing, our minds are synchronized. In all the years of doing this, I've never had that, so you'll be dead lucky to get that. So you say, look, okay, we didn't get them paired up this time. Let's try it a bit deeper. Let's cut a few more cards. Are you ready? Let's try this. And it's a bit of fun. You say, take a few more cards, half or quarter of the pack, maybe cut half the deck, turn them over at the same time as each other. Bam. No match. Again, you may get a match there, but very unlikely. And it looks as though things are not going too well, that you're not synchronizing. So you say, I'll tell you what, maybe it wasn't so much the faces, maybe it was the number of cards we both cut to. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 cards. They will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards on theirs. Again, you may not get the same amount of cards as each other. If you do, it's a minor miracle. You say, well, there you go, that's good. You can play this anyhow you like, but it's very doubtful you'll have the same number of cards. You've got to be lucky. So you say, I'll tell you what, we've both cut to a random place in the deck. Let's have a peep at the cards. So you both look at a card. Now the spectator's going to look at this. This will always be the card that started life on the top of the deck, namely the king. The force we've just used there is called a cut deeper force. We see that king. When I look at my card, I'm not interested in that. I'm just pretending that I've picked the king as well. I just peep at that, but I just ignore it. We put it back, we put the cards back on top, and we ask them to cut the pack about halfway. So we cut the pack about halfway, and the trick is done. You can then go into this performance of going into the fourth dimension, invisibly removing a card. Now, one of the things I find does impress people is when you say, put it face up, invisibly on top. Now, when we both do that, you then call out your card first of all. What you're going to name is the false card. You say, wow, look at that. There's a coincidence we was looking for earlier on. I picked the king of spades. Now, straight away, the person that looked at their card will be amazed to think, well, that's what I chose. And you say, and you've also got the king of spades. That's the first amazing thing. You then say, I'll tell you what, let's go one stage further. Let's remove this, push it face up into the middle of your deck. They do the same. They think you're crackers. Then when you spread the cards, the face up cards are there, which is a great piece of magic in itself alone. That would be amazing to the spectator that you've gone into the fourth dimension and come back and they're there. But as a real kicker is when it's revealed that they really were swapped over because of the contrasting backs. And you can put these back in. This blue deck is a regular 52 deck, so you can get rid of this. Remember, the only thing you've got in here is an extra king. There's two kings of spades. You can put this away, use that for another performance, but here you've got a regular deck and you can go on to do another trick. It's an amazing little trick with just regular cards. So you do just need a duplicate card for this to work. So hopefully you'll find a way of using this and incorporating this into your routines. It's a great little card effect that involves the participation of the audience. Until next time, don't forget to hit the subscribe and reminder bell and give us a thumbs up if you can. Much appreciate that. Till next time, practice and enjoy.